Alarm in Japan. Is home success at the Tokyo Olympics fueling the continuing rise of COVID cases?
There's a time lag between the rise of infection and the rise of the seriously ill patients, inundating the hospitals and leading to the collapse of the medical system.
President Biden tells millions of federal workers to get vaccinated or face regular testing, but there is a cash incentive.
I know the paying people to get vaccinated. It might sound unfair to folks who've gotten vaccinated already. But here's the deal. If incentives help us beat this virus, I believe we should use them.
An inquiry into the murder of a Maltese anti-corruption journalist says the state must bear responsibility for her death. Israel will become the first country in the world to offer a third dose of the coronavirus vaccine. People over 60 can get the top-up starting on Sunday. The US and the EU have yet to approve the booster shots. Israel was one of the fastest countries in the world to vaccinate its population with the first 2 doses. The star of the Marvel superhero film Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, is suing the Walt Disney Company over its simultaneous release of the movie in cinemas and on its streaming service. Ms. Johansson alleges the action cost her millions of dollars. She said the way the film was distributed breached her contract. Disney says the lawsuit has no merit. International charities say they're disappointed that a pledge by world leaders to provide $5 billion to boost global education has come up short. Britain and Kenya, joint hosts of this week's Education Summit in London, say the figure is currently just over $4 billion. Nobel Prize winner Malala Yousafzai told the summit girls in particular faced an education crisis. A former Roman Catholic cardinal in the United States has been charged with sexually assaulting a teenage boy in the 1970s. Theodore McCarrick, who's 91, is accused of abusing the boy on several occasions, including at a wedding reception near Boston. Amazon has predicted slower sales growth in the third quarter as a boost from the COVID pandemic begins to subside. Customers turned to Amazon and other online platforms during the COVID crisis, leading to record profits for the U.S. retailer. But the company's breakneck growth is beginning to level as customers return to brick-and-mortar shops.
We're going to start in France. The French economy grew by higher than expected, or more than expected, 0.9% in the 3 months from April to June. Hotels and restaurants are particularly well, but the economy is still more than 3% smaller than it was before the pandemic. COVID restrictions have been easing since May as the government tries to keep the Eurozone's second biggest economy open. This week, the French Parliament controversially expanded the use of COVID passports for entry into bars and restaurants, as well as long-distance travel. The French carmaker Renault says it expects the global shortage of computer chips will mean it makes 200,000 fewer cars this year than it did the year before. That's twice the previous estimate. However, rising sales of new vehicles and a turnaround plan which involves job cuts and making less models means it's made a profit of just over 350 million euros in the first half of this year. That compares to a loss of 7 billion euros in the same period the year before. The UK's biggest dairy company has told the BBC it failed to make 25% of its deliveries to supermarkets last weekend because of a lack of lorry drivers. The company's managing director said 600 stores did not receive deliveries. The haulage industry estimates that there are 60,000 unfilled jobs for drivers across the country because of Brexit and COVID restrictions.
The US Navy has filed charges against a sailor over a massive blaze aboard the USS Bonhomme Richard in 2020. The sailor, whose name has not been publicly revealed, is accused of starting the fire, which took 4 days to put out. At least 40 sailors and 23 civilians were injured.